Let's just turn my volume up a little bit more. I can't hear things properly unless I hear myself in my ears. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Radio Apocalypse Through the Night with a little bit of a Monday night special. Let me just bring up the old chit-chat on the side there just now. Well, there we go. Us always in, Shady's in, Morgan's in, Jason's in. Astounding. I like this very much. Now I need to go and find the silly intro. Where is the silly intro? It's been like a week since I used any of these things. I think it's this one. I hope it's this one. Fingers crossed. See you in a minute if it's not.
Eyes in the sky, gazing far into the night. I raise my hand to the fire, but it's no use, 'cause you can't stop it from shining through. It's true, baby, let the light shine through. If you believe it's true, baby, won't you let the light shine through?
Success. Oh, no, camera's not right. Look at that. I am so unprofessional. So unprofessional. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Radio Apocalypse. A little bit of a Covid Chronicles tonight. Just a special, just because we don't have the round table on tonight because of all my fiasco last week. Now, I'm going to ask straight up, guys, if there is if you can't hear me properly, say something. If I'm a bit laggy, say something, because I look laggy on my screen. And let me just check. Jason says it is quiet. I'm going to wave to Cognag and Lazy in the background just now. Can you guys hear me okay? Give me a wave. Yep, they can hear me. It might just be that I'm a bit more quieter, Jason, because I can't basically throat fuck my old microphone anymore. Just now, that's basically what it is. Yeah, I'm saying it. I'm saying that out loud because I've got to be a bit more quiet so I don't disturb the family or anything like that. So we've got a new microphone, this beautiful round snowball, the same one that Barry's got as well, and it seems to be a little bit more clearer. I can adjust the volume. Is that any better? But you will get a little bit more background noise in there. Hold on a second, I now need to cough. So yeah, let's have a quick look. Sarah's in as well. Hi Sarah, how are you? Right, wow, we have got a few people in tonight. We're not doing anything crazy tonight. We've not got the round table, as I said, because last week I had to try and kind of evolve my things into Instagram, which I'm going to do a bit of both. But I'm definitely lagging. Right. I don't know why I'm lagging. Let me just check my processor speed just now. 1 second. There's JJ in the background there as well. Okay, now that's great because I clicked on my process. Here it is. Task Manager has decided to come up. If we lose the stream tonight, I apologize in advance. My children are here and they are probably on. I know Ali is on a device just now. Yeah, she's waving to me. And the boys are in their beds looking at devices as well. Missed you too, Morgan. Missed you too. Thank you for saying so. Basically, just to give you an update of what's going on, I spent most of last week trying to understand how to use Instagram to stream. It's not technically difficult. It's not as good as using this thing, and not as good as using a laptop for future things, or when the tech upgrade comes, when the desktop comes. So last night, I'm still committed to doing streams through the computer with my brother on Serial Sunday when we do all the serial killer stuff. And it was kind of a test run for me to use the new mic. So I did all that last night with my brother, and it was spectacular. And I asked my good lady this morning, saying, "Did you hear me streaming last night?" And she went, "No." And I was like, "Yes, yes, yes, da 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 da," which basically means if I keep to this level and don't get carried away, all right, it means that I will stream this way because I'm not interrupting her sleep pattern. This is better for me. Okay, much better for me. Okay, I've not got my big black background behind me. I just move the microphone out of the way. I have my lovely lights on the mantelpiece. So the camera's got something else to focus on in the background. So it gives a bit of depth and stuff, which is still good. And at this time of night when it's all dark, you can't really tell anyway, which is good, which is really good. So yeah, that's where we are with it all. I'm really happy to be. I much prefer being on the laptop in comparison to anything else. Right, I wonder if I put that off, will it stop it being so laggy? Right, hold on. I am going to go into podcast mode for a second, just to speak and see if we can get some of that speedster stuff back in. Okay, so tonight, we have Barry, Cognac, and Jason all waiting in the green room just now to come and catch up with you all right, which is great. And what I'm going to do, there's one particular topic that is quite hot in Great Britain just now for COVID-19, and that was Michael Gove's comments yesterday. He's one of our ministers here in the UK. And we're going to talk about his stuff and in relation to an article that Nyla sent me from the New York Times as well. So we're going to talk about both those things. I'll bring the boys in. We might be in and out of podcast mode like this tonight, simply because for some reason I'm very laggy. All right, it could be because I've got these three handsome devils in the background waiting to come in and speak, and they'll all have interesting things to say. I hope that they've all got interesting COVID-19 things to say tonight, which will be good. Yeah, so without further ado, let's see if my camera is still laggy. A wee bit, not too bad. Right, I'm going to bring in everybody. I will just unmute their microphones and bring in Mr. Vampiri as well. Right, gentlemen, you are all, hold on, there you go, there you are. I can see you all. Oh, we better take that off Barry's face. We've got an overlay sitting on Barry's face. Yes, move to your right, Barry. That's bro. How are you, boys? I've missed you guys.
I've missed you too, Bo.
Yeah.
I've not missed you.
You don't miss me.
You miss nobody, you old.
It's good. It's good to have you. Good to have you in here tonight. It's been kind of quiet last week for me, not doing all these fun things with you guys. Right, before we start, I just want to make sure that you and everybody knows what we're doing for excuse me, for Watch Party Weekend. All right, that is everything that is The Dark Crystal. You need to go and watch the movie and the TV series. Okay, it's absolutely vital.
Oh, that's right.
It's going to be a good show. And next Monday, I've already put the stream up. I've already started to advertise it. It only seems to be me that's lagging, Sarah. Oh, bollocks. Let's see, what have I got running in the background? I can't have anything running in the background, surely. No. Oh, yeah, there, hold on. No, that's gone. Let's switch off Discord. It shouldn't take up too much. It takes up minimal stuff anyway, but we'll switch that off. Anyway, I don't want to lag. CPU is still sitting at 100% though. Jesus. Memory's all right.
So you do that off the laptop or the computer?
Yeah.
You also do off of Wi-Fi?
Yeah.
Have you
No,
tried
it's
it
not
with
Wi-Fi.
Ethernet?
No, mine's Ethernet. I've got it hooked
Oh,
up to, yeah,
snap.
purely for that purpose. Yep. So let's see. Yes, I'm still lagging by about a second or two on this just now. Doesn't matter. Sarah, as long as you can hear me, I'm happy. I am very
Pardon?
happy. Yeah, shut up, you and your cheekiness. Right. It's really good to see all your faces. Right, so let's go back to it. We are going to be doing Watch Party Weekend this week, starting now for next Monday for the round table is everything that is a Dark Crystal. So go away, watch the TV series and watch the movie. I have not watched the TV series yet. I have now got a copy of the movie. Okay, and I'm going to be watching it. I'm going to start watching it after the stream tonight, which is going to be so exciting. Then tomorrow, I don't actually have a show planned for tomorrow, so I was thinking a bit of a gamer's night tomorrow night. I'm thinking Tuesday night should be a gaming night type stream. How do you feel about that, boys? If you've got Xboxes or anything like that, or it's a game you can play on your laptop, crossing streaming with us, Barry, called Paladins. It's a free-to-download game. It's a first-person fantasy-type shooter nonsense, 4 or 5 men in a team thing. My brother plays it. He said to go play it. Don't know if he'll enjoy it. Don't know if I'll enjoy it. But it's something that can be played, you know? I think it's cross-platform on PlayStation as well, Jason. So you might be able to play it. So you could... Right,
Wait,
so...
Jason has PlayStation?
Yeah, he does, yeah.
Okay. And then, okay, it's cool. So I invested in I got a PlayStation, so that means that's Jason. And then I was so intrigued with playing, I thought all of you had Xboxes, so I also invested in an Xbox. It'll be here tomorrow.
Oh, amazing. I can't wait for you to join us with the old Xbox.
Cognac.
Yeah, I'm a bit of a... I know I'm a...
The day I get Cognac, the day I get an Xbox is the day hell opens up and says, Jay, you're coming home.
Oh, man. Oh, and just to let you know, another reason I have over 103 hours logged into Final Fantasy, and you guys only know I got that like about a week ago.
Oh my God. I just want to say, Cognac, right? Cognac has been giving us excuses about working on his farm and shit. He has not been doing that at all. He's been playing that fucking game, haven't you, mate? That's what it is.
It's a total mix of all of it, but the game totally I couldn't. It was I would go do work in the yard just so it would make me feel better that I was spending so much time on the game. Like it was, I had a fascination with 100%. I played it twice over.
Right. Cognac. Gun control to Cognac. You've got me on Facebook. You've got me on Facebook, haven't you?
Yes.
Right. Look at my profile and you'll see the links to my tags for my PS4 and my PS3. Send me a friend request.
Down.
Right, just want to jump in, guys. We have another one of our regulars from the morning, Roberto Scrimminger, just came on. Just want to say hi to you as well there, good sir. Good to have you. We've got quite a full house tonight. This is the most we've had in a 1 hour for a long time. 9 people watching from YouTube and 2 people watching from Facebook. Listen, thank you so much everybody for joining us. We're just having a little ramble to begin with, catching up with the boys, catching up with you guys in the chat as well. It's good to see all these faces. If you've not said hello on any of the chat just now, say hello. We like to talk. If you've not listen, I'm speaking, stop your singing. You've got a beautiful voice, man. If that's for open mic night, okay, just to let everybody know that Jason will be singing on Friday night for us. I don't know what he's going to be singing. It might be something similar that Cognac did as well before, because Jason has a beautiful...
Swing your granny right with a bar.
That's going to get turned into a jingle, mate. Just wait.
Right back.
Right, okay, so catching up with the gaming thing, all right. Hey, Mr. Dalton, good to have you here. just to let everybody catch up with the gaming thing, okay? The game that we can pretty much do cross-platform between laptop and Xbox. But Jason said you're saying that Paladins will go Xbox and to PlayStation as well, cross-platform, yeah?
Quite possibly, yeah. Because I've got it on my games list, but I've not played it.
Right. So what we'll do is I'll figure out with Paxton tomorrow, all right, exactly how I can speak to you in-game cross-platform to the PS4, and I'll give you a tinkle tomorrow at some point about that. See if we can get that working, so we can make Tuesday night gaming night. All right, which is good.
Doesn't or Mixer, Twitch, one of those platforms that streams live gaming is like they do it on all the systems, to my knowledge.
Yeah, well, I just set up tonight all my Mixer overlays to actually go gaming, so it's like got like scrolling things on it, and it's all singing, all dancing. So it's just purely, I think Tuesday night should be a bit of a gamer's night, a bit of a relaxing sort of thing going on. I've got no problems with, I'm not like anti PS4 or pro Xbox. I would just have an Xbox because it's there. We got it for Christmas, and we got gifted one, a 360 years ago as well. So we kind of just stuck to that, which was easier. But there's plenty of pros and cons for both platforms, to be perfectly honest.
Well, the thing about me, Mojax, is I've got PS3 and a PS4. That's only by choice. My son's got an Xbox One, an Xbox 360, and a Wii. And the thing is I play on both. Yeah. I'm like you. I don't have a preference. If I want to play games, I'll play on my PS4. If I want to play with my son, I'll play on the Xbox. And the thing is spending time with my son is not all about playing games. It's life in general. And I saw him briefly this afternoon for about 10 minutes. He came into my house and got some food off from it. So,
there you go. No, it's good. It's about quality. I enjoy playing Minecraft with the kids here. That's one of my favorite sort of sit there. We can lose afternoons playing Minecraft. It's crazy. And I've just managed to get it operating on my laptop as well. I'm not going to be able to stream that from my laptop, but I can play it and play with the kids. I might be able to, I'll definitely be able to stream it from the Xbox, because that's what I've got it set up for, from Xbox to a piece of software called Lightstream, and then from Lightstream onto Mixer. And Lightstream allows you to put overlays on your Xbox stream, which is great. So that's what I was playing with all afternoon, and Local Bottom helped me sort that out and look at it as well on the system. Thank you very much for dropping in, Local. That was good. And I've got all my alerts, and all my alerts, wait for this, they're brilliant. I've made every single alert that comes up on it a gif of Prince Harry doing something silly, all right, which is just the dog's bollocks. So the Ginger Prince is my alert bot on Mixer now for when I'm playing games. So if you subscribe to me on Mixer, Harry will pop up on the screen. If you unsubscribe, it will pop up. If you donate something, it will pop up. It's brilliant. It's just perfect, and I love it. So that is Mixer. But yeah, what I want to do, guys, though, is good to catch up just now. If you don't mind, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you out of the stream, but you'll still be in the stream in the background. I'm going to start doing my little bit just now. You won't be able to talk amongst yourselves because you'll talk over me at that time, because your mic will still be on. So purely so I can do my little bit just now with what I want to talk about with regards what Michael Gove was saying. I'm just saying, Cognag, I'm just about to do my little report on what Michael Gove was saying for it all. That's one of the ministers over here, and then talk about Nyla's article that she sent me as well. So Michael Gove, he's one of our ministers in the country here, and he was on the BBC yesterday morning, and he has insisted that England's schools are safe to reopen. Okay, now this is great. This is good news. It was on the Andrew Marr show yesterday, but he is getting so much heat for his follow-up statement, okay, which is you can never eliminate risk. And in the same conversation, okay, he's also saying stay at home. So Mr. Gove told the BBC's Andrew Marr that the key was to make schools safe and smaller classes and staggered arrivals. The government has set out plans to begin a phased reopening of primary schools in England from next month. The Labour Party has urged the government to publish the scientific advice guiding those plans for the 1st of June. She said if the government could ensure the tracking and tracing was properly in place, it would reassure parents. Teaching unions, also backed up by the British Medical Association, have raised concerns about safety. Now, I'm a dad. I've got 4 kids. 2 of them are at primary school. One of them's an infant. One of them is in secondary school. Do I feel confident right now to send my kids back to school? No, I don't. The reason being for that is that we've not got anything to defend against this virus other than common sense. And I'm sorry to say, there's too many people in this country and in England and in Wales and in Ireland, in fact, on this planet, that don't follow common sense guidelines at all. And it is heartbreaking because that is what is stopping us. And the thing is, as well, is how on earth can you have staggered arrivals? How can you have a class with 28 kids in it that are used to sitting at tables where they could touch their elbows to each other? How can you have that and still follow social distancing guidelines? It's not possible. It's not possible. Basically, the former Education Secretary said that the UK can learn from children returning to schools in other European countries such as Denmark. The only way ever to ensure that you never catch coronavirus is to stay at home completely. Okay, well, that's not going to happen. Eventually, we'll all be out again. But there's always, in any loosening of these restrictions, a risk of people catching the virus. This is all from the government. You can never eliminate risk, says Michael Gove. It is the case that is extremely unlikely that any school is likely to be a source of a COVID outbreak. Now, that's nonsense, okay? Basically, they were saying that you're less likely to pick up this virus from being at school than you are, say, from not being at school, say, going into a shop. Okay, public transport to me is going to be the biggest one. Okay, but schools, to me, technically in my head, I can't get round that they're little cesspools of people 100% lacking in common sense, playing their games in school, etc., etc. So how can we trust our kids? You can't. You love them and you trust them to go out and play, but this is like, here, go and juggle with these broken bottles. You know, if you do it right, you're going to be safe. If you do it wrong, you're going to be cut to pieces. That's kind of what this is like. Right? You go back to school, you're playing with fire. If you're not careful, you're going to end up getting burned big time. And it really, really does piss me off that they're going to be doing this in England. I'm just waiting for Nicola Sturgeon to come out with something sensible up here. My sensible idea. Okay, this is just an idea. I've had a few sensible ones throughout the week since this all started. But why can't you have not staggered returns, not the kids back full-time, the kids back part-time. Split the classes into 4s. So you have day 1, you have a quarter of the class in the morning, a quarter of the class in the afternoon after lunch. That gives cleaners an opportunity to wipe down every classroom in the primary school between each phase of the kids coming in. The next day, you have the 3rd quarter and then the 4th quarter in the afternoon, the same thing. And then, so basically it goes, say you've got day 1 and day 2. So day 1 now jumps onto day 3. So that particular week, they would have 3 days at school. Then the following week, the second group that were on day 2, they get the 3 days. So basically, it's like 1.5 days a week for the kids, which is better than nothing. Okay, and it's easy to maintain something like that and to maintain a good positive level of hygiene within the school as well. That's the only way I could actually see it working. And I can't envision, though, kids socially distancing no matter what in a classroom as well. How's a teacher going to help them with their work? Is the teacher going to be there in a biohazard suit type thing going on? No, I don't think so. I don't think so at all. There's a chap who is in the BBC called Palab Ghosh. He is the science correspondent, and he has reported in this article, there's a great deal of clinical evidence that shows children tend not to become severely ill from COVID-19. Technically, that could be true, but we'll see. This week, the Office for National Statistics published the first results of a survey of coronavirus tests on a representative sample of the population in England. It found that the proportion of people under the age of 20 have become infected with the virus is roughly the same as the rest of the population. So, the critical question, therefore, is how likely children and young adults are to spread this. And so far, scientists just don't know. The very early data from countries which have opened the schools to a degree indicate that they have not become infection hotspots yet, but it's early days and the data is currently too scarce to have definitive reassurances that children do not pass on the virus. So it's kind of scary. It's kind of scary. If you were a parent, would you send your kids out into the world doing that? I just can't bear the thought of doing that at all. It's going to be scary enough for them to go out, Wild, and wild. Under government plans, children in reception in Year 1 and Year 6 in England will return to school on the 1st of June. Education Secretary has said on Saturday the government's approach was based on the best scientific advice, with children at the very heart of everything we do. Obviously not. Labour's deputy leader, Angela Rayner, told Andrew Marr, I urge the government to publish the science and ensure that testing and tracing is in place to safeguard. You know what? It to me, let's just wait and see what happens in England. This is one of the reasons that Nicola Sturgeon has turned round and said, we're waiting another 3 weeks, because if people aren't sensible and they start to infect more people, we won't know in 2 weeks, we will know in 3 weeks if England's infection rate goes up again. That's what's going to happen. And I'm sorry to my English friends that you have a Prime Minister down there that is just a twat. We need to be waiting for this vaccination. If you're going to take it, we need to be doing other positive things for it. But I'm going to bring back the gang, the boys, just to hear what they have to say about this particular thing, because it's kind of important that you have your opinions too. Cognac and Barry, I think your mics are muted. I don't know whether it's at your end or my end. I'm just trying to unmute you just now. Hold on. Yeah, so you're back on. So Barry, you're a dad. Okay, you are a dad.
Hi, congratulations.
Oh my God. How do you feel about Monkey going back to school?
No.
And why not?
Nothing in place. They've not sorted anything out, and nothing's actually changed.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
And there's so many problems with any solution that anyone's came up with. That, like you said, it was proposed earlier that they could have half days to begin with, and that's great, but the kids are still going to meet. Group goes out and one group's coming in.
Yeah.
Unless you stagger it even further, in which case they're not getting a full day. So what's the point?
Better than nothing. Something's better than nothing. That's the whole thing. I believe that if you do a sensible approach to going back to it, it's easier to manage for the schools from a social distancing point of view. I just can't imagine Scottish children walking down corridors like in some Japanese horror film based in a school, you know, like little robots in the same uniforms. I have visions of this type of thing going on in my head, but I can't actually see it. Jason, you're a dad as well. Okay, you're a dad. How would you feel about your kid going back?
I'm not happy that the English government are thinking, let's shut the school, open the doors again on the 1st of June. It's going back to the so-called money tree. If the government want to make money, so be it, but don't affect our children. Our children
Yeah.
haven't done anything wrong. The thing is our children are our future. We don't want to be going back to the dark ages and sort of like rather than taking 5 steps forward and 10 steps back. We want our children to live. We want our children to see a better future, a better tomorrow. The thing is they get education sent to them on their console or their laptop or their tablet from school, so they're getting homeschooled. Fair enough, but send them back into the front line of education. I totally draw the line. My son is 8 years old. Yes, he misses his friends. Yes, he misses his girlfriends. Yes, he misses his teachers. Yes, he misses his school dinners. But he doesn't want to go back because he doesn't want to catch COVID.
Yeah,
He knows what COVID does to people because he is quite scientifically challenged. He reads about it on his tablet, on his laptop, and he knows exactly what the symptoms are. He's a smart little cookie. But the thing is I said to him, sorry for interrupting, I said to him the other day there when I saw him the other day for 5 minutes, I said, son, are you looking forward to going back to school next month? He goes, no, I don't want to go back. I don't want to go back until the green flag's given up, Dad. And I went, good thinking, son. Good thinking. Because the thing is sending our schools back in dribs and drabs, as you said, first quarter, second quarter, first quarter, second quarter, that might work, but at the same time as this, it's best to wait until the green flag's put up, said, right, school's open again. I don't care if it's open during the summer holidays, it will at least give the something for the kids to do, like summer school, for instance. You know, summer school is a big thing in America, but then again, they do it differently over there. But the thing is summer school in the UK, I think, should be an option. But if kids want to come in during the summer holidays, even though they're meant to be out of school, they can catch up with their education, they can catch up with their friends, catch up with what's going down, go home, do their homework, wait till they get called back in again. So I don't want my son to go back and pick up COVID for no apparent reason. I'm just waiting for the green flag to go up and say, right, all kids back in school. Then he'll be going back. So there you go.
No, I agree with you, everything. Now, we've had 3 dads, including myself, saying their piece. Now, Cognag, you're a big kid. How do you feel about going back to school?
Oh, that's funny put. How about okay? Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah.
The only thing I got to say about it is, if it's a kid's choice, then when it comes to 3 cities surrounding, I'm surrounded by so many of them, and I'm not just talking about kids. I'm talking about adults. They're acting like kids, because I am mind blown that, like, what you said is right, that nothing has changed. And it's I was in belief that what they were doing was lifting restrictions to let people get sick, to see how serious it really is, so we can go back and redo it again. And as messed up as I thought that was now, the place to the north of us is restrictions are getting lifted, they go up a nice 10,000. The place to the south of us goes up 3,000 in the last week. Our place only, our city, San Diego County, but our city in San Diego County has only gone up 52, but we have thousands in the San Diego County. So in a nice rained circle radius of 2 hours, it goes to show they're lifting restrictions, and if that's what they're trying to do, it's working, because a lot of people to the north and south of us are getting sick, and we're in the middle, and that's why I'm scared. Yes, I would be scared to go back to school right now, because we're literally surrounded by people who obviously don't know how to wash their hands or clean or take a shower. I don't know.
It's
Yeah,
this whole
I don't know.
this whole thing. The
It's-
virus is just a shocker.
So
There's
I am
also,
a little
I mean,
scared for sure.
I don't blame you. Listen, man. Okay, if I
But
could give you a,
I got a ninja mask literally to go around if I have to.
that's
Full
good. You don't
coverage.
have to worry about us.
Like-
It's the internet, man. I've got antivirus software. You're going to get nothing through the internet from me. Okay, you're all safe. Okay, you can take your mask off. I can't see your handsome face. Okay. No, it's I think everything that you're saying, boys, is completely valid. There's not a bad thing that you guys are saying there at all. There's everybody has their own opinions and feelings, especially if you are a father and especially if you're a mother, and the potential of sending your kids back, it's like send them back to a war zone. Would you send your kids into war at the age of primary 6 kids? That is how old my second youngest kid is, a little Ruin. He's about to start primary 6. Who I feel sorry for right now, though, is the 6th formers and the primary 7 kids. That's the primary 7 cognac is when kids leave like elementary school to go to what you would call junior high. Okay, we call it primary school going into high school. We don't have a junior high. Right, so and then you've got 6th formers. That's the kids about to graduate high school. Okay, so they've got all this going on. The 6th formers and the 5th formers have not done any exams this year at all. They've just averaged the scores of these guys over the year and give them a grade based on that. So it's the first time that's happened in history, I believe, in the UK. Then you've got the primary 7 kids.
You forget one
You what?
thing. You forget one school.
What's that?
Westminster.
No, that's not a school, mate. That is a home for wayward children. That's what that is. Okay, that's basically our government in a nutshell. I feel sorry for my daughter though, because she is supposed to go into high school. There's no official transition period for going in. Usually they would have a few days to move into the school, get used to it, make some friends in their new classes and stuff. That's not happening. She's also not going to be having her primary 7 leavers dance, because of this. So I've said to her, as soon as we can, she can choose half a dozen of her mates. They can come round here for a barbecue and a social distancing dance around the outside of the trampoline. Okay, that's about the best we can actually do. But it's crazy to think that. Let's have a quick look in the chat to see what everybody's saying, and then I've got a horror story about some kids to tell you, and then we'll just open up and have a good chat about it again. Listen, guys, thank you so much for your comments. It's been really, really interesting speaking to you with every point that you're saying, because every point is, like I said, is completely valid. There's not one thing that's wrong there at all. I've got 4 kids to think about, and all my kids are sensible. They're not going to go and do something stupid. It's just there's our parents in the world, in this country, that they might have to take their kids into a shop, into a store, because they're on their own. Okay, but would you not, if you had to take your kid into a shop, I'm going to ask you guys this, would you get them to wear a mask if you had to go to like a grocery store, a big grocery store like Walmart or something, Cognac? Okay, you've got to take your little boy or your little girl shopping with you. Okay, would you mask them up, go to Walmart?
Did that yesterday.
I wouldn't just mask them up. I would have fun with it with them though. And costume, ninja style, they do full cotton garb all the way around their hands, their chest, their toes, and this kind of mask that I'm wearing. And essentially you got full coverage and you get to be a ninja.
No, that's a great idea. So we're talking
that way your kids won't even
I like that. That's really good. And you did that yesterday, you said, Barry, yeah?
Yeah, I got 2 snoods essentially. That you can wear, that we're wearing as masks when we're going out. And Monkey wanted to go and get some needed something to sort our room out, so we got boxes from B&M's that was opened. But again, queuing up outside 2 meters apart and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, one person in, one person out, the whole thing, and she was fine. Just put her little mask on and just did away.
Yeah, that's good. Morgan's getting triggered in the chit chat there, and don't you dare apologise for getting cross, Morgan, at all. All right. I don't know if you boys can see the chat there at all, but you know I totally agree with her. She's saying that our kids are supposed to suck it up and listen to authority. The government don't give a fuck. They want to make our kids fight something they shouldn't have to, and she's absolutely right. You know, absolutely spot on right. The government can go and suck my nuts. Right, okay. My kid will not be forced to potentially get a deadly disease with no way for fight. And like I say, do not get upset or even remotely apologize for getting cross, Morgan. You are a mother and you have children and you have to look out after them first. It's the same in my house as well, without a doubt. Okay, I'm supposed to return to work on the 15th of June, but I'm pretty sure that the vulnerable folk have just been extended to the 30th of June, maybe even beyond that. But I don't know if I'm going to get paid anymore. So we'll have to wait and see. I'm not furlough, you see. And it's just damn well crazy. I can't afford not to be off work because I need to raise the last £2,500 for my wife's next visa part to remain in this country after August. You know, so I mean, we're almost there with the money, but I need to. Every penny that I'm working with has to be saved for that. So I'm not getting my overtime just now that I do. I usually do an extra 5 hours a week. 5 hours a week, 20 hours a month.
Ireland, because I was going to go to Ireland. It's a 3 month.
Yeah, you're not going to get to come to Ireland, mate, until this is over. Everywhere's shut down for it all.
I know, and
You're breaking up, Cognag. Something.
it's
Something.
true. Is it the same for you guys over there? Is it a 3 month visa that you're allowed to have?
No, it depends on what type of visa you get. You'll get a 3 or a 6 month visa coming from the States. My wife is on a spouse's visa, which is 2.5 years, slightly different. Okay, so for her, but it's all good. It's all good. Yeah. So the whole thing is just absolutely insane, and I could not agree more with Morgan getting triggered by this. I would never send my children into a war zone ever. However, I'm going to now talk about something that's going down in New York. I'm going to read the article straight up. Okay, this is about a 14-year-old boy. Okay, so I'm going to read the whole article, the story, and it's about a little boy, 14, same age as my oldest son, Jack McMorrow, 14 years old, awoke in agony with heart failure. His case may help doctors understand a frightening new affliction in children linked to the coronavirus. Okay, that is just the start of the article. Now, bear in mind that over here in the UK, the advice the government's getting is no, kids are going to be fine. Absolutely fine. Let's read on. When a sprinkling of reddish rash appeared on Jack McMorrow's hands in mid-April, his father figured the 14-year-old was overusing hand sanitizer. Not a bad thing during a global pandemic. When Jack's parents noticed that his eyes looked glossy, they attributed it to late nights of video games and TV. When he developed stomachache and he didn't want dinner, they thought it was because he ate too many cookies or whatever. Jack, a 9th grader in Woodside, Queens, who loved Marvel comics, had his ambition to teach himself Stairway to Heaven on the guitar. But over the next 10 days, Jack felt increasingly unwell. His parents consulted his pediatricians in video appointments and took him to a weekend urgent care clinic. Then one morning, he woke up unable to move. He had a tennis ball-sized lymph node, raging fever, racing heartbeat, and a dangerously low blood pressure. Pain deluged his body in a throbbing, stinging rush. You could feel it going through your veins. It was almost like someone injecting you with straight-up fire, he said. Jack, who previously healthy, was hospitalized with heart failure that day, in stark example of the newly discovered inflammatory syndrome linked to the coronavirus that has already been identified in about 200 children in the United States and Europe, and has killed several as a result of it. The condition, which Centers for Disease Control and Prevention are calling the multisystem inflammatory syndrome in children, so that would be MISIC, MISIC, okay, has shaken widespread confidence that children were largely spared from the pandemic. Instead of targeting lungs, as a primary coronavirus infection does, this causes inflammation throughout the body and can cripple the heart in the process. It has been compared to a rare childhood inflammatory illness called Kawasaki disease. I've heard of that.
Excuse me?
Yeah, it's called Kawasaki.
It made it over in the high winds, just like we had recently, how it started, and people were wondering if it can travel. That was one of the ones, that chemical that actually made it overseas through the atmosphere, or however it traveled, aerosol through the atmosphere, and it made it all the way over here, and it does.
On one of the shows.
50 kids here in California, got it, had it within the last 7 months. There was that many cases here.
Wow. It's frightening.
I thought there would be there really is I really didn't want there to be a connection on that. That was
no, there is. You called that weeks ago. We've got that on a show. You talked about that. You talked about it, mate.
I can't believe with those two to be correlated. I mean, that's a different level of
infection. It's deadly. It's just as deadly. But can you imagine a child going through that? Anyway, let's finish the article and we'll pop you in for comments and things. Doctors have learned that the new syndrome affects the heart differently and erupts mostly in school-age children rather than infants and toddlers. The syndrome often appears weeks after infection in children who did not experience first-phase coronavirus symptoms. At a Senate hearing last week, our favourite Dr. Anthony Fauci, that wanker, a leader in the government's coronavirus response, warned that because of the syndrome, we've got to be careful. We're not cavalier and thinking that children are completely immune to these deleterious effects. Wow. Jack's recovery and the experience of other survivors are Rosetta Stones for doctors. Health officials and parents anxious to understand this mysterious condition. He could have definitely died, said the medical doctor that dealt with it, who along with his wife has been Jack's primary doctor for years. When there was cardiovascular failure, other things can follow. All organs can fail, one after the other, and survival becomes very difficult. I just can't get over this just now, thinking about this, that there's a possibility that children could get this if they got the disease and they're wanting to send kids back to school. That is my whole point for this. You know, the kids, they eventually, yes, they'll have to go back to school, but going back with what Morgan said, I totally I'm on her side. She's every right to get angry and no reason to apologize for it. I've kind of kept myself reserved because I read this article I think it was the early hours of this morning that I got it from Nyla. And then when I read the Kawasaki bit, Cognac, I've kept that very quiet because you did call that about 5 weeks ago in one of the shows. I'm going to go back and watch it, find it, and pull that clip out for you. But you talked, I think it was the night of the conspiracy ones, maybe something else, I don't know.
I ran it with I actually have it in the book when I wrote down all your guys' all of them when I wrote that little section to have them all. That was just a wild theory.
But but the thing is though, I never knew anything about the Kawasaki disease thing, that syndrome, until you mentioned it. And I turned around and thought straight away that this is something that's made up. Kawasaki just doesn't sound right. But sure enough, it was a thing. Then when I read this article, I was like, holy shit, this is what it does. Oh my God, that is what Cognac was talking about, man. Okay, so I didn't say anything about it because I'm so glad you were on, because I wanted you to hear it from me directly. It's a frightening thing. No, I'm very, very much. On you go, brother. On you go.
It's like whatever the COVID virus is, piggybacked on top of the fucking. I'm so sorry. On top of the Kawasaki, the type of bacteria it is. The Kawasaki is a bacterial.
Right.
So the virus can easily strap to it and actually ride it. And if it can make it over here through high winds, that means that it might not have ever been a bat. It might not have ever been anything like that. It literally is just because of their ability to produce so much into the air with everything.
Crazy. Let's have a look in the comments just now about this whole thing. Equilibrium is saying that flights are coming into Dublin from America daily still. That's outrageous. We're only just beginning to slow down the flights into Great Britain as a whole and put 2 weeks worth of on, which I can't get over that. Why have we not been quarantining people from the outset like various other countries have done? It's, you know, having a holiday from all this last week when I was doing everything, I feel that I've missed so much from reading the papers and speaking to you guys and getting your feedback and reading the comments and things. Right now, I don't think I've been more calm. When I say calm, I mean like the calm was when I was a Royal Marine as a soldier in a war zone. I never panicked. I was like focused and, you know, absolutely geared up for war in my head. That's where I am just now. I am so angry but so calm that there's no point in me getting physically blood pressure raised, sort of angry and ranting like I've done before. This is me when I'm feeling a bit dangerous about what my potential is to go and write a strongly worded letter to my government. That's as far as I can actually go. I'm not going to go and start a revolution.
Not yet.
Not yet. That may come yet, though. But I'm because it's the children. Between the kids going back to school and potentially, God almighty, can you imagine if one of your kids had fucking heart failure? That is the scariest thing on the planet for me. It's something you can teach your kids to cross roads. You can teach your kids not to fall off a bike. You can't control the traffic. That used to be the scariest thing in the world for me. Now, this is more scary. This is something that at least cars are being driven by people that, you know, you have this hive mind trust about, that they'll put on their brakes if a kid steps out onto the road. But bacteria and viruses don't have fucking brakes. You know, they're not going to stop. They're just going to go, there's a nice wee host. Let's fuck them up. You know? And the government wants to put them in harm's way. Cognac, you look like you're going to say something.
By chance, did you guys get a product advertised over there? It was new here. We recently had gotten a bottle. It kills all viruses and corona, the corona on top of that, but it stays on a surface. It's not an alcohol dissipation. It's actually some form of chemical mix instead, but it's a 24-hour anti uh, antibacterial, antiviral surface cleaner. So it actually sticks to the surface and goes in porously and actually kills all viruses on contact for 24 hours. So every household is actually, I think it said is allowed to buy one bottle right now, or it's one bottle per person who tries to buy. You can't buy more than that.
You know, it's a product I've not heard of. I'll be honest with you.
I will send you a name of the product, or I'll send you a picture of the bottle.
It sounds good. My whole thing is, though, all right. My whole thing with cleanliness and things is, we're quite good in this house for if for instance, if my wife's been to the shops, she comes back, she washes her hands, she washes her face, she changes out of the clothes that she was wearing and gets them in the wash. Okay, my kids are coming from their mum's house into my car, out of the car into the house. They're not going to shops, but they still would change out of their mum's clothes, and they're doing that to protect me. Okay, anybody that comes back into the house, we would wash our hands anyway. Coming up from the garden, wash our hands. Toilet, wash our hands. So what's changed for us there? Well, not much. We would come back in from the shops. Maybe we wouldn't wash our hands as much, but we are doing that now. Well, wife is doing that.
See, I was picturing it differently, like not for the use of indoor per se, like for family, of course, the cleanliness. Spray the outside of your front door, spray the outside of your car, spray your actual items, and that kind of thing.
Remember, Cognac, what you've got to remember is we can't live in a bubble of like sterility all the time.
That's the fun. That's why they eliminated if you don't have to do it except for once every 24 hours. Like if you actually use the product more than once on the same surface in 24 hours, it's pointless. Like you literally, it's just a one cover. So it actually gets rid of that fear of doing it constantly all the time instead of just doing it once.
Yeah.
And then waiting.
We and over here, in my house, as I'll go when the kids are all asleep, I'll go and wipe down the door handles and stuff. They get done once a day at the end of the day. If we're all in the house and not going back out, I'll do it then. Okay, it takes less than 2 minutes. So my door handles are all within arm's distance of each other when you come into the house. Okay, I'll wipe down the inside and the outside of the letterbox where the postie's been, you know, and the door handle. And that's all.
I know, so it's scary. It's not about the family. It's just about the delivery people or those kind of things. Like, but that's just wondering. Like, as they lift restrictions, people are gonna go around and start knocking on your door. Well, actually, I don't know if you guys get stuff like Jehovah's Witnesses and like Mormons and stuff like that.
No, they're going to be shitting themselves like the rest of us as well. You know, they're not coming out. Coming out at all. But what you've got to remember is, if you lived in this bubble of sterility, okay, we've got good bacteria out there. We've got good viruses out there that help your body do normal functions. I mean, I'm no expert, okay, but I'm sure there's positive things out there that rolling in dirt does good stuff for you. You know, when I was growing up, a little bit of dirt never did you any harm. I mean, I used to eat mud when I was a kid. You know,
drink out of the hose.
Yeah, drink out of the hose. You know,
those kind of things. People don't do that stuff anymore.
Well, yeah, my kids do. Because drink out the hose to take it. No, I don't want to do it.
It's free water.
You know, it's but the point being is, okay, is if you continue to sort of like live in a bubble of sterility and you're not getting the positive things, is that not going to be detrimental towards your health? You know, not having this stuff, is that not going to deplete your?
Yes, no, you're right. You are right. You're right.
What happens
people who are too cleanly, who are too cleanly their whole life, unfortunately, right now have it way worse than people who did roll around in the dirt, because unfortunately they don't have the same defense system we have, and that is very true. That is very true.
It doesn't mean that you don't.
Not a defense. It's like it's just
have.
Yeah.
You just
I get what you mean, though.
Sorry, Solway. It's always just put a comment up saying Mormons shitting themselves. Yeah, it cracks me up. They're shitting themselves like us as well. They've got the side, but God will give them bigger shits. Okay, simple as that. But the point is, sorry, that's going to make me giggle. Let me just have a controlled giggle.
Oh, that actually did. It gave me a gut rumble. Okay, cool.
Okay. Right. So yeah, there's nothing wrong with being clean. There's nothing wrong with being hygienic. There's nothing wrong with that at all, especially just now. Okay. This stuff lays on surfaces for a good few hours, if not a few days, and other things. So you don't want this virus, but again, at the detriment of like your health, you don't want to be going killing all the other viruses as well. But these things live in your body anyway. They last for months. But what my whole thing is, what happens? We've got all these people living in this sterile bubble, all right? And then they start to relax everything. Everybody starts to move out of their caves into the world that is still a COVID-19 world. Their immune systems are depleted, and whack! Second wave hits us worse than the first wave because we've all got weakened immune systems from spending all this time just in the company of a few people. That's what scares me. And the Kawasaki disease, and sending the kids back to school with the Kawasaki about the place.
That one they don't really have much on, to be honest. I really don't know anything much about it. It's a very unknown, not very also not a cure for, if I'm correct, type of thing.
Yeah. Right. Jason, have you got anything you want to add to what we've talked about there just now with the Kawasaki?
I've never heard of this Kawasaki insurgent, but I will look into it because I do have contacts as well. But one thing I do want to know is, should we take our own advice before the government speaks? Because I've been following this on and off since day one, and all I see is the same old shit, but just labelled differently. And the thing is when the government comes on, it's like a quiz show. They are standing there at the podiums waiting to answer questions. It's like watching not catchphrase. It's like watching catchphrase. There's a panel of three, and literally they're just waiting to get asked the right questions rather than them sort of like looking for the answers. They already know the answers, but they're playing funny buggers by not saying the truth. And if they are to open the schools and if it's safe, fair enough. But I've been talking to a very good friend of mine, and if you've been following the news, Wuhan has already had a supposed second outbreak. Yep. And the thing is I said to one of my friends on the phone this afternoon during lunch, I said, we will no doubt have a second outbreak around about September, October time, and then we're going to have the flu. We're going to get spit roasted. Because the thing is COVID is one of these insurgents, but you can't see it, you can't taste it, but pardon my French, you can fucking feel it. And the thing is it's just horrible what it's done to the world, and there's a lot of people saying it's long overdue and we've got to change for the best. But the thing is you're talking about after being inside for so long, it's true, our immune system will be down because we've been cooped up for so long, having our windows open for so long, going out doing social exercising for now, and now you can go out for longer. So basically, in a way, the government's saying, right, let's give them more carrots. But at the same time, slowly but surely, we don't want to get a second outbreak, but we've got to do it. And the thing is sending our kids back to what you said right at the start, sending our kids back to school, it's a good thing. But at the same time they've got to find a way to make money. And the thing is some of my luxuries, they've gone up 3, 4, maybe even 5 times this year since the budget, which I think is crazy. And at the same time, my son is 8 years old on Wednesday. I know he won't be watching this tonight because he'll be in bed, but he'll be 8 years old on Wednesday. He's had to cancel his birthday party because of this outbreak. And instead, he's having a birthday party with his mum, and they know that I have a birthday. Have me on video call as well. But the thing is he can't have his girlfriends round, he can't have his friends round, he can't have a shindig because of this outbreak. But the thing is he abides by the rules. He washes his hands when he goes out. He washes his hands when he comes back in. He washes his hands before his dinner, his breakfast, not he knows what to do. But the thing is I feel sorry for him because the thing is if he's going back to school on the 1st of June, I want it in blood from our dictator or whatever you want to call Boris Johnson, that schools will be safe. Because I don't want to lose my son. If I lose my son, I swear to God, I will get on my dragon and fly to Westminster and say, "You're toast." Because
Absolutely.
the thing is, I'm not happy the way the government has handled this. They're not even kept the policy saying 100,000 people retested by such and such. They lied.
Of course they did.
And if you look in Wuhan, they've tested 1 million people a day since day one. And they're still doing 1 million plus.
Well, I was just reading an article there about Wuhan while you were speaking. I wanted to look up to see if there was any details for a second outbreak yet. But they are restricting movement, and they're testing and tracking and tracing any new cases in a brutal Chinese fashion to get to the bottom of it as quickly as possible. There's nothing wrong with that. There's also Belle Dalton has left a wee comment there as well, saying there's a nursing home down there that's had positive cases, had a whole bunch of positive cases, and 52 days later, 11% of them are still testing positive, which then obviously brought up the comments from other folk as well, including Bell. And this is the first thing I thought of as well, was then if 11% of them are still testing positive 52 days later, what does that say about quarantine? 2 weeks isn't enough. You know, the herd immunity thing is going to kill people. The vaccine, there's no definite case with that. They're wanting to have like 30 million people vaccinated, or have 30 million vaccinations ready by September in this country. I'm not anti-vaxxer at all, but I would very much like to see this working. You know, first of all, I would actually very much like to see Boris Johnson take it first.
I just want to know how much it's going to cost.
It's going to be free for us.
Oh, it's going to be free, right? Fine. Because the thing is this vaccine. Who says? And it's like the cure for other ailments. Who says it's not already made, and they're just waiting for the right signal to say, right, Prime Directive 65, Prime Directive 65, Prime Directive 65. Because the thing is the government have got all the cards, but they're like in China, they're not showing the full debt, they're not sharing. And the thing is the one thing I like now, if you watch any press coverage with Donald Trump, his aides stand like stormtroopers with their masks on behind them, and he's standing there ranting and raving without a mask on, and they're standing there, hands behind their back like stormtroopers waiting for Donald Trump. And I bet you, as soon as he steps down, 180-degree turn,
Yeah, absolutely. The whole thing with our government, and well, most governments throughout the world, is they give you as much information as they want you to have. Okay, and I like I say, I'm not an anti-vaxxer, but I would like to see this working first. I'd also like to see the leaders of the country take the vaccine publicly. I think that
I'll tell you one thing which made you laugh, right? I was speaking to one of my American friends on Saturday. You can laugh at this as well, Cognac. I was talking to one of my American friends on Saturday, and they said, "Did you watch the press conference when Donald Trump said inject up with disinfectant?" I went, "Yeah." And they said, "Have you heard about the new craze? Have you heard about the new craze?" And I went, "No." And they said, "Inject your body with Vibram. It will kill all well-known diseases." I went, "Vibram? Wait a minute. Is that not the metal which is in Black Panther, which keeps them immune from all diseases and away from the radar?" And I went, "That's the one. Inject with Vibram. The way forward for our nation." And I'm like going, "Fuck that for Game of Toy Soldiers. I would rather have disinfectant." Thank you.
Good point there from Enlightened Shrub, saying if they had a cure ready to go, what would they gain by withholding that info? In this country, they wouldn't. they wouldn't gain too much from withholding it. Okay, in countries that they have to pay for it, okay, they increase demand and therefore can increase the price of it. And I hate to say it, Enlightened Shrub, that's what happens in some countries. Okay, we're lucky over here that we have a free at point of use national health service. It still gets paid for, okay, through what we pay national insurance straight out of our wages. But the thing is, there are, if it's privately run medical foundations in different countries that you have to pay for your vaccinations for, then some talking business head without ethics, without any morals, who doesn't really care about you in the slightest, because you're just a number on a bit of paper. You're not part of his profit margin, part of the graph which shows that his company is doing particularly well, right? They won't care. So that's why they would be withholding it, the vaccine and potentially the information as well.
Can I just say one thing?
But when it's
no, you go, Cognac. Go for it.
I think he had a point when because on a small scale, yes, we don't affect their pocketbook that way. But those big business and their money, and they love their money, what good is it all when, like over here, when you lose 1 million people, though, in a sense, that's not just a revenue loss now. That's that is a chunk of their pocketbook. That's essentially that many more customers they do not have.
Of course.
And that is a really gross way to look at it. It is a really gross way to look at it, but that is the only way you could probably even describe it to them to make them care.
Yeah, absolutely. They don't care.
One thing I was thinking about was if we in the UK get this vaccine, right, and it doesn't cost anything, right? Who says that if we're to go overseas, say for example we're going over to see Uncle Cognac in Santa Barbara, you know, who says that as soon as we touch down at Santa Barbara, we'll get approached by someone in a gimpy mask and a biohazard suit and says, right, have you had your vaccine? And we'll say, yeah. And they say, well, welcome to America. Stab. They stab us again. Because the thing is the more you wash your hands, the more you wash, yes, you will kill good bacteria and at the same time kill bad bacteria. But the thing is if you're going to dope us up like fucking zombies, don't bother. Because the thing is I know for a fact I'll bite back. I know Mojax will bite back. I know Lazy Sword will fight back. I know Cognac will lead a Spanish revolution wherever he is in the West Coast, kicking ass and chewing bubblegum. But the thing is who says that each vaccine which is being made is different from the first? They're not all singing from the same hymn sheet. And yet they've got the balls to turn around to China and say, we want the notes, we want this, we want that. And the Chinese says, no can do. We do not have it. We do not have it. They're fucking lying bastards. They do have it. And the thing is one of the things me and my own friends were talking about on Saturday night is the vaccine is no doubt already made. And as I said, they're just waiting for the green flag and then they can start shipping it out. But I bet you it will all be different for each country.
Where's the benefit in having a vaccine and actually letting everyone die?
Well, the thing is lazy. Lazy. You remember?
I see it from your point. Yeah. How could all the leaders have people around them get sick and the leaders somehow end up fine?
The thing is Lazy and Cognac is back in the day, pharmaceuticals are looking to make profit, not a loss. Profit. If you remember,
you can't make money when you're dead, though.
That's what Cognac was saying. That basically, if a chunk of people die, that's the only way that they're going to wake up for their pocketbooks are a little bit less.
They're not going to wake up. They're just going to be too busy looking at figures. They're too greedy to look at figures. All they're interested in is
and ours are dumb enough just to print more and make it worth less. That's the problem with us, is they're just willing to print more and make it worth way less.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, if this is the case, if the vaccine's ready to go, or if the formula for the vaccine's ready to go to make, right, and it's ready to step up and come out into the public, okay, Barry's question and Lighting Shrub's question are perfectly valid. What on earth is there to gain? Yeah, profit on one thing. In the United Kingdom, okay, pharmaceutical companies still make profit, but it's at a far reduced rate. If you look at the price of insulin, for instance, in this country compared to the price of insulin in America, right, that's the simplest way. You're paying something like 150 to 200 times more in some parts with some particular companies in America for insulin. You know, people are paying thousands of dollars a month that are diabetic through their insurance policies just to stay alive, whereas we get it at point of use, free at point of use. So it's also a lot cheaper for the government to buy, the NHS to buy insulin because of the deals that they have with Big Pharma. So Great Britain is, I don't feel, would be the vaccine would be kept back, but I can see how in some countries they might want to profiteer. Is that right? No. Has that happened before? I'm pretty sure it probably has happened before, and I might go and try and do a little investigation to see if there's any stories. Not, I don't think there'll be case hard evidence, but if you've got companies that will pump chemicals into the water table of small towns round their, you know, their chemical plant, and not give a toss because it's cheaper for them to pay the fines for doing that than the human element, who on earth, and that has happened. That is a fact that's happened. There's a film about it called, was it Ellen Brockovich? Is that who it was? The one,
Yeah, with Juliette Lewis, not Juliette Lewis, Julia Roberts.
yeah, Julia Roberts. Okay, that's a
true
true
story.
story. Okay, that's a true story about, you know, the question would remain, when if you heard that story without the evidence, the question again would be, what do they have to gain from that? Why would they do such a thing? You know, pumping dodgy chemicals and hard metals into like the environment to do that. They're not doing it deliberately to kill people. They're doing it deliberately so they don't have to pay the cost of looking after it. But they killed people. They caused cancer in people. They caused malformations in children being born because of that. Okay, but it completely remains as a fact that companies have done that for profiteering, and that is what makes us kind of think sometimes that, wait a minute.
There's one film which came out before Erin Brockovich, and it starred Kurt Russell, Meryl Streep, Silkwood, about a nuclear refinery which was releasing toxins into the world. And this character, Silkwood, who was played by Meryl Streep, she was going to blow the whistle, and she disappeared. She was never ever seen or heard of again. She just disappeared. She didn't make it. But with Julia Roberts, when she did Erin Brockovich, it's a sort of like, it's a documentary, but at the same time, it's real life. It's actually telling you this is what actually happened. This woman stood up against the system, and she had her phone tapped. She had people watching her. She had choppers watching her. She had the police watching. She had everyone watching her, and she knew she was being watched. And she was one smart cookie. And the thing is she took the system on, and she won. She actually won. But the thing is there are people out there. I'm one of them, and there's a few others who I won't name, who will stand up and say, "We want justice. We want rights." But the thing
listen, at the end of the day, I don't disagree with anything that you're saying, right? And I don't agree wholeheartedly with the fact that they may or may not be keeping it back. I tend to look for the best in people. So I agree with what Barry's saying as well. It's like, why would they do that? But then when you examine it, you can then see it, all it boils down to is what I've said before: soulless entities, corporations, these things that are not actually living, that are just a bit of paper and a number, right? They actually have more rights than you and I. And I think this is a good place where we can start. The conversation is really good, but I think it's a good place where we should start thinking about wrapping up a bit, guys, for this, because I'm up at 6 o'clock in the morning for the morning stream, because I'm doing it at 6:30 in the morning now, so I don't interrupt the family. So this has been probably one of my most favorite conversations on Radio Apocalypse ever, to be perfectly honest. It's been, and it's only been one subject, stemming from, you know, kids going back to school to talking about hard metals being pumped into the environment by companies for profiteering. Okay, this is an interesting sort of direction where it went to. We will be back with more COVID Chronicles on Thursday. That's going to be the day specifically for it. Tonight was a bit different because we usually have the round table. Tonight is a bit lighthearted after the weekend. Tomorrow, potentially a gaming stream. I will put it on the Discord for the links for it if we're going to do anything. It'll probably be over on Mixer. And for those that have just joined us, I'm writing down just now if my typey thing comes up. Radio Apocalypse .live/Discord. If you use Discord, come and join us. It's a great little growing community, and you'll get everything. Every broadcast that we do gets pumped into there, so you can see what's going on. And it's a nice little place to be. It's a good place to hang out. Don't call me Shrub, right? Okay, sorry. What can I? It's Connor, right? I will call you Connor. Thank you for that. I'm pleased to meet you, Connor. I am indeed pleased to meet you. So if you want to join us on Discord, any of you, there is the Radio Apocalypse .live. Have I spelt that wrong? Have I put 2 L's in that? Hold on.
I always get the A and the O and Apocalypse around.
It's only 1 L. It's just, I think I hit L twice there. So yeah, come and join us. Some nights we go straight into the live chat in there, which I'm going to go into right now after this while I prepare some other stream stuff. I'll be in there for about 10 minutes. So if anybody wants to continue this conversation in a polite, informed manner without screaming and shouting at each other, then please come across to radioapocalypse.live/Discord. I'll be there. And if anybody else wants to come there, that was a silent scream there I could see by our Cognac. Gentlemen, listen, thank you very much for your time. Barry, thank you for your time as always. Jason for coming in, and Cognac all the way from America reporting in. Are you wearing tartan jammy bottoms there, Cognac? Put your camera back on. What are you watching? Oh, that's us on the stream. That's so cool.
No, that's my pants.
It's your pants.
You guys. That's you guys.
Awesome. Yeah. That's awesome. That's cool. Right, I'm going to, guys, just stay in the stream just now. I'm going to mute your mics just for a minute or two while I say cheerio to everybody. And yeah, thank you very much for coming. So definitely tomorrow morning, I'm going to be live about 6:30 in the morning with the early show. It was the morning coffee show, but now I've renamed it the early show, simply because it's easier to call it that, because I'll have had about 3 coffees to wake up by that time as well. If you've not followed us here on on Facebook, because we're broadcasting there as well. If you've not followed us here on YouTube, give us a wee follow, give us a wee like, send some comments. Watch out for our stream in the morning, and watch out especially for Watch Party Weekend this weekend. It is everything that is to do with, let me just bring up the picture. I have a picture. Hold on, here it comes. A picture. Hold on. Shut the door. I can't have the door open. That's my son getting out of his bed. Oh, right, here we go. Here's the picture. We are talking about the Dark Crystal, the round table. So hashtag Watch Party Weekend. That is you guys, anytime, go away and watch the Dark Crystal TV series and the Dark Crystal movie. And then the panel and anybody else that wants to join us can come and join in the chit chat as well, which is quite exciting. It'll be good fun. And then obviously tomorrow morning as well, we have the early morning show from 6:30 in the morning. That is basically papers, coffee, porridge, poetry, if I get round to copying a poem across. And last but not least is gamer time tomorrow. I have started an Xbox gaming club called Old Man Gamers Club. Okay, crap at games since 1971. That is the truth. I have been shit at games since 1971. And yeah, I'm going to be playing some games. I think Tuesday nights will be the gaming night. I've been setting up Mixer with overlays to be able to do that, and I will look forward to actually doing that. And if you come and join the Old Man Gamers Club, I'll give you a copy of that badge that you can use as your tag as well if you wanted to do that. You don't have to be an old man gamer to be an old man gamer. You just have to love life and have a bit of fun. That's what it's about. So yes, that's where we are. That's what we're going to do. And thank you for joining us tonight. I really appreciate it when we have time with people. Great conversation tonight. And we will see you in the morning for the papers and see if anything else is being said about it all. Okay, take care, and I'll see you in the morning. Just realised that actually says 9:15. Join us tomorrow on that particular thing. It's not. It's definitely 6:30. And Old Man Gamer is going to go to his... Well, he's not going to his bed. He'll be across in Discord. I'll see you across there if you want to come.